Good evening, everybody. My name is Ken. I'm from Pizza Restaurant. Right now, we're opening a few restaurants. I directly manage about 5 different restaurants, couple on Elgin Street, close to Parliament Hill, and 3 on Chinatown. So the rest, please don't mind me speaking Chinese, because my poor English. OK， 我就想今天跟大家分享一下做餐馆的利与弊。我本人是97年来移民，然后大概是18年来到加拿大，一直都是在渥太华，然后2000年开始做餐饮业。为什么开始餐饮业？主要是因为很喜欢吃寿司，所以就跟女朋友去吃寿司，然后不小心爱上了那个餐馆，然后自从那次之后就开始加入那个餐饮业。一做就是15年，然后呢里面经历过很多教训，也经历了一个很多开心，现在是一直挺过来了。然后今年我们是有一些新的发展，在那个餐饮业的比较特色菜系方面，会有一些更大的发展。还有我们在一个餐馆管理跟装修，从一个整体的一个服务方面，我们也想继续的发展。为什么大家很多人都喜欢做餐馆？因为可能餐馆的那个门槛很低，它不需要一些特别的一些技术上的要求，就有钱有技术你就可以开餐馆了。所以呢就变成很多人都喜欢开餐馆。我想具体分析一下开餐馆的利与弊。先说不好的东西。这个城市呢做餐馆的人很多，但是打工想进入这个行业做事情的人很少。因为餐馆相对来说是比较，劳动力比较强，那个薪水比较低，所以找厨师很难，这是最大的问题。第二，这个城市的房租，一点都不便宜，相比多伦多，相比蒙特利尔，这里的房租是属于稍高的。然后呢，里面还有一大部分的原因就是地税，渥太华的地税也相比多伦多要高。第三，这里的市场，这个城市就100万人口，华人可能是5万左右，所以这个华人的圈子不是很大。如果你的特色菜系，或者说你做了那个 marketing， 主要在华人那个圈子里面的话，你会把自己就是显得很竞争性不够高。但是你要进入主流社会的话，现在看一看市场。如果你比如看一下日本餐，all you can eat 到处都是，一间比一间更大，一间比一间更新，这变相也是一种恶性竞争。所以我建议，如果想创业、想开餐馆的朋友，你们要想进入渥太华去做，把这个事情做大做好，你们要很好的去关注这个市场，不要跟风。然后最后一句还是 location， 选址是最重要的。然后还有一点就是模式，千万不要把模式变得很复杂。往往成功的，我自己感觉成功的餐馆、成功的生意模式，如果是把它变得很复杂的话，在将来管理和持续发展上会变得很困难。但是这些是一些做餐馆的不好的，就是一些 challenge， 一些挑战。也要说一下餐馆的好处。餐馆的好处就是说，每天都有流水。你每天都有现金回来，你可以做一个很好的 cash flow。还有就是说做餐馆，回到第一点，就是你不需要任何的那个职业一些 license， 不需要任何的那个技术上的那个certificate。然后再看一下渥太华，渥太华其实是一个饮食业潮流相对比较慢的地方。如果你看多伦多，看到那个蒙特利尔，可能你可以看到3年之后的渥太华，所以可以用这个当做一种consulting， 去好好的看到大城市的饮食市场，去想一下在渥太华怎么做。今年我们会在唐人街会开一间港式糖饼店，然后我们也会在我刚刚加入了小戴跟小陈那个烤鱼店，3月份开始，然后也是因为的关系认识了很多新的朋友，也谢谢大家的捧场 如果大家有兴趣在餐饮业创业，或者说一些互相帮助的一些需要的话，大家可以私下找我。大概是这样子，谢谢。
Thank you, Ken. Is there anyone who volunteered to translate for Ken's speech? Okay, I will volunteer. Oh, Victoria, be quiet. Ken said how he started the business. First, because he loves food. He and his girlfriends go restaurant a lot. He especially loves sushi, and one restaurant he especially likes. I think at the end he purchased it. He also analyzed the advantage and disadvantage of opening a restaurant. He talked about the benefits of opening a restaurant is a low entrance, and also there is a cash flow for you every day. So you don't need to worry. You still worry about a lot of things, but at least you see the money coming in every day. He talked about the disadvantage is it's high competition, especially for Chinese restaurants. If your main targets and your advertising is only in the Chinese community, then you narrow yourself to a very small market. You need to expose to the mainstream. And also one thing I really like about Ken is a lot of people after, I think Ken talked before, 10 restaurant owners, nine of them after they finish the day of work, they think about their lives, because they are the last people who go to bed, and before they go to bed they check all the expenses and income of the day. And also when we are having vacations, we are having weekends, enjoy our time with our families, they are still working. So they think a lot about their lives. And one of them, so 9 of 10 doing that, and 1 of 10 goes to a casino. I remember when I studied in Brussels, Belgium, almost there is a casino close to every Chinese restaurant. I think over there in Europe, majority, maybe 10 out of 10 restaurant owners go to a casino. Definitely this is a very stressful business. I admire Ken is one of them. After his own success, he is willing to help other people who just started their businesses. For example, Dai Gaole, who is here, he's an international student. You're a master degree student. He has another partner. Both of them started their business called Sichuan Cuisine. They had a business on Somerset, Chinatown. So the first few months is very difficult for them because they are lack of the knowledge and experience of opening a restaurant. For doing a restaurant, if you lose like a $10,000, $20,000 a month. It's not only the rent, the labor costs a lot. I'm glad Ken join them and help them. And I also noticed there is another boy who just graduated from Algonquin College from the food department. How to make nice cuisine. He is working for one of Ken's restaurants on Elgin Street, and that boy is going to be a partner with Ken for Ken's new adventure, which is just above the Sichuan cuisine, the second level of Sichuan cuisine. They are going to have a Hong Kong desserts restaurant. So I know it's difficult to start a business after you're established, helping others. I think that's a way to better than go to casinos, waste your money. Next, I will invite Cheng Ling, who is the owner of Panda Vacation. I remember Helen, who is your relative.
Yes.
She started Sunnyview travel agency.
At the beginning, yes.
Yes, and she also started Panda
Vacations afterwards.
Yeah. So I remember 10 years ago when I just arrived Ottawa, I had a volleyball team. The owner of Helen, she sponsored our volleyball team. At that time, it was very hard to get sponsorship, and she sponsored $200. I think when you do good things for people, the good things will return to them too. So of course, the members of our volleyball team keep buying airplane tickets from them.
Yes, yes.
And after Chengling and Helen started their new adventure, Panda Vacation, of course the customers still follow them. My family purchased cruise package, Disney package, airplane tickets to United States, to China from them. They are very professional. Every time we called, they work very efficiently, and they always find us the good price. And that is one of the reasons I invite him to give us a few words.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone. So my name is Ling, and first of all, let me thank you. Ren gave us this opportunity to share how to make the small business success. And everybody knows, like, I'm from Panda Vacation. So the business has been established over 8 years. I think a lot of clients I can recognize from here. So to make a travel agency success, it's not that easy, because right now, first of all, the profit margin becomes quite low. That's because of the website. So everybody can check the package or flight tickets on the Expedia, like Fly Harbors. So those kind of margin for the agency become quite low. So how we can beat those websites? I'm thinking most important thing is the travel industry, service industry. The service is the key point behind all those websites. First of all, before you think about the products, for example, a Disney package or those like a cruise package or even a flight ticket, you need information. You need tons of information, which is from the website or from the professional, like a travel agent, to provide you a basic plan before you purchase anything. So those tons of information you can get from either a website. You may spend like 12 hours to do your own research, or you can find your local travel agent to get their professional experience or their professional ideas from that. It's really before you making any purchasing arrangements. Second thing is, I think quite important, is the service after the trip or during the trip. Because everybody knows from Ottawa, we can have a stop, we can have a flight cancellation or flight change all the time. So if you book it on the website, yes, maybe you get a $1,000 ticket, and maybe you're facing a flight cancellation or change at that time. So you may wait 45 minutes on the line, wait for the United Airlines or Canada to help you out. But for us, we are there to help you out right away. So that's, I think, the service has become a key point for the whole industry of the travel industry. So, of course, we also have some special products. For example, because of the volume we're dealing with the different airlines, so we get better deals for our clients. But the margin, as I mentioned, has become quite small. But we are thinking it's most important thing is to get people a nice trip. That's the key point. And provide our professional service from the beginning to the end, and get the client's review at the end. That's quite important. Then by doing that, we will know better about our products and make the improvement after that. So that's for the industry or service area or industry I'm thinking to help the people. Second thing is quite for us, like a travel agent, it's quite good for, I'm thinking it's try to find more friends and try to help the local society, especially those Chinese, we're all from China, so Chinese community, because we grouped with different Chinese associations. For example, this morning we have 100 people traveling on the cruise, Norwegian cruise breakaway from New York. We have 2 coach. We grouped with Taisan associations. They all have total. We have 2 buses, 100 people traveling to the States, and they are taking like a 7-day cruise package. So for doing those things for the society, we may get we can get very good deals for them, and to group the people together and go together, and it's a kind of a win-win situation. For us, we can sell our products, and for the clients, they can get better deals. So from that, I think we will continue to do a lot of packages. If anyone from the society, a community, they want to have a package or those kind of things, we can deal flight tickets. We can deal vacational package during the Christmas. We sell a lot of tickets to China with a very nice, a good price during the summer. So we're willing to take opportunities to work with everyone who want to go outside, travel around the world. So that's all I want to say. Thank you, Ren gave us this chance to present our company, and looking forward to work with everybody. Thank you.
It's already over 1:30, so we will stop sharing the experience for now. I'm sure after the first half of the session, we will have more time doing the network, and we can learn from each other more. Come in. Next, I want to give our special thanks to Dr. Roxana Ahmed. Can you stand up and wave to everybody, please? Dr. Ahmed is an associate professor of the communication department of Ottawa University. Dr. Ahmed is leading the Ottawa Multicultural Media Initiative, OMMI. Working in partnership with the City of Ottawa, helping newcomers to be best informed and best use of the City of Ottawa's resource and support. Dr. Ahmed interviewed me last year as a previous former publisher of a media. After the interview, Dr. Ahmed told me she can donate $50 to a nonprofit organization I want. So I said, please donate to New Immigrant Entrepreneur Association. So now we have $50 in our account. Thank you. Dr. Ahmed thinks this is a great way to give back to the community. She immediately invited her husband, Dr. Hayden Cohen, to help us as well. Their HRZ Research and Consultancy sponsored this meeting room for us to have our free workshop to everybody. Since the end of last year, they traveled from the east all the way to my house many times, discuss and prepare every detail of this workshop. We couldn't have this workshop without Dr. Ahmed and Dr. Cohen's help. Dr. Ahmed later on accepted my invitation to be the advisor of New Immigrants Entrepreneur Association. Later on, I will call it NIE. Please welcome Dr. Ahmed to give us a few words.
Thank you, Jen and Rai, for the nice introduction and the kind words. So a warm welcome to everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for coming on this sort of wintry, feel like spring day, because officially spring started since yesterday. So for my talk, I will be speaking very briefly about some of the challenges that new immigrant entrepreneurs face, and also leave you with a framework to think about work, be it as a work for entrepreneurship, be it the present work that you are engaged in, thinking about the concept of meaningfulness. Okay, let me ask you about this visual. Can anyone tell me what comes to your mind first when you see this? What does it symbolize?
Spider.
Excellent. I think we have like-mindedness, because I'm very scared of a spider, so I wanted to put the spider. Because we're gonna, but you know, as I go on to the framework, we will also talk about what it means to a given individual to think about challenges, to think about meaningfulness. Because if you look at this room, we have people from different walks of life. Yes, mostly maybe Chinese community representing, but also you are individuals. So the challenges will be individual experience-based, and also the meaning of meaningful work will be based on your experience too. So let's think about that framework and talk about this. So before pointing out the individual challenges, I just want to point out that for immigrant entrepreneurs in Canada, we can talk about two types based on the studies that scholars have done. Some immigrants become an entrepreneur by choice. So, you know, in the past, the Canadian government had what is called the Business Immigrant Entrepreneurship Program, BIP. Later it was cancelled. Now we have the startup visa category. So those people, they knew from the very beginning when they wanted to come to Canada or arrive at a given destination in the host country that they wanted to start their business, right? Then there are the other types of immigrant entrepreneurs who became or who want to be an entrepreneur by default. So it's not by choice, it's the reality that they're facing. So it could be that they're struggling, they're not having a meaningful work experience in their current job, they want to supplement their income. There could be a variety of reasons, or for some, it's such a great reality that it's a need for survival because they want to meet ends meet. So for those both kinds of immigrant entrepreneurs, these are some of the challenges, the barriers. So maybe lack of Canadian education, differences in educational background, then lack of knowledge about the Canadian labor market, lack of knowledge about Canadian business laws, regulation. Then some are related to human resources. So not having enough human resources or having an understanding which is different from what happens in Canada in terms of wages, in terms of employee-employer relationship. So how an employee and an employer would work. Because back home, maybe things are done in a different way. But here in Canada, you have a distinct culture. So that brings to me the cultural differences, obvious differences. And one of the things that immigrant entrepreneurs coming from their country of destination to the host country is the language barrier. This is one of the significant challenges. Then, of course, financing, not getting access to the needed resources. And it could be that I can talk about international students not having the needed credit history. Or if you are not an international student, if you came as an immigrant, it could be that, you know, based on many different reasons that you don't get the needed loan or financial help that you need. Also, excuse me, the last point is commitment to personal commitment and personal drive. So in a way, what Renwon was talking about, giving the example of some of the business owners ending up in a casino and some were thinking about their families and whatnot. So this is one of the things, working really long hours and stressful in stressful settings. It's actually lack of family time, lack of time to think about yourself. And this will bring me to the next slide. This is an ethical framework. So I want you to leave today's workshop with this idea. Okay, so this is coming from philosopher Kant. And the idea is, as you can see, the meaningful work will symbolize being happy, right? Now, if I just take maybe 2 minutes and ask random people, or maybe, I'm a professor, I have a tendency to call on people, so I'm not going to do that. I will ask volunteers to just say maybe what happiness means to you. So anyone, what does being happy mean to you?
It's money.
It's money. Excellent. Thanks for your candid response. Someone else?
Family.
Family. See, we already have differences. It's not based on gender. It's just, you're two different people, right? Because science says not two people are alike. Anyone else?
Fulfillment in life.
Okay.
Beauty.
Beauty. Okay, excellent. And?
Fulfillment in life.
Fulfillment in life. So we already have 4 different answers, right? So think about it. Think about what meaningfulness means to you. But what Kant said, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that we should be thinking about. Although there are differences across people, across maybe people in this group, but these are 6 things that should speak to everyone, okay? First, you should be freely getting into it. So it shouldn't be by force or anything. It should come from within, okay? So you shouldn't feel any constraint. Second thing is earning an income to adequately support physical welfare. So yes, money is important, right? You want to have a dignified life, right? Okay, the third thing is exercising autonomy and independence. So you should be able to make decisions for yourself. Thinking about the good, maybe if it's a business, then it's for the business. If it's work-life balance, it should be you who should be making these decisions, not someone else for you. Okay, the fourth thing is developing rational capacity. So rationality means reasoning, right? Making sense of things. Thinking about, I should be able to give a reason to a certain fact. So maybe thinking about what's right and wrong. And when we do that, automatically what it does for us, it gives us self-respect. So it shouldn't be someone else telling us, oh, this is the right thing to do, that's the right, wrong thing to do. And this is a challenge for immigrant entrepreneurs, especially when they come to a new country or it's a culture that they have to adapt to, is the values, is the beliefs that we bring with us. And sometimes when we don't have enough communication, those values and beliefs come into conflict. And think about the workplace. It could really create tension, right? Okay, the fifth thing is gaining support for moral development. So it's actually, in simple terms, the understanding would be, it's an idea of how I should be treating the other and how others should treat me. So it's also respect for each other. And be it, you are starting a business, even if it's your own business, you will have employees working with you, working for you. You'll have a partner. So you have to establish that mutual respect. Okay, the sixth and the last thing, and I think is very important, is facing no paternalistic interference with achieving happiness, which comes down to a combination of all the other points I talked about. So again, the idea is you shouldn't have someone else interfering with you in terms of the way you want to establish your work, come into conflict about your values. So a lot of times in a multicultural country like Canada, for immigrants, the issue boils down to equality. So equal opportunity. So that's very important to remember. So I will stop at that about this. And I think I can speak to some of the presentations that will be happening next. So if you think back to the challenges, some of the challenges that I presented to you were related to business norms, legal aspects, financing. So the line of speakers we have today, we will have a lawyer, yes, speaking to us. We will have a banking perspective. We will have accounting perspective. And am I missing something else? And maybe a few steps or something. But anyway, so the whole idea is that it's all coming well-rounded together. So before I finish, it's my pleasure to sort of formally introduce Ren Bei, because she said so many nice things about us. So it's my turn now. Thank you for inviting me to be part of NIE and also to be part of the workshop. It's a great pleasure to see what immigrants like us can do for each other, work across communities and sort of build a community of practice, if I can say so. And also because the idea is that I bring in the abstract stuff, but these are the people who are working in the field, bringing the real world experiences. So, and Ren said that I had a chance to interview her, and we selected from the project her because of the great work she's doing in the community and for the community. So just to say a few words, she's the president of the Capital VIP Realty, and she's also the president of NIE. And former vice president and advisor to the Federation of Ottawa Chinese Community Organization. She was a former publisher, editor-in-chief, and owner of Canada China News, and advisor for comefromchina.com and Canada China News. She is also an editorial board member of New Canadian Media. And as a female leader in Ottawa's Chinese community, and by devoting herself into servicing Chinese immigrants, Ms. Bei received the Business Award in 2012 by Immigrant Women Services Ottawa. And in the same year, she received the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal. So without further ado, it's Ren Bei.
Matt, for your very kind words about me. First, I want to say New Immigrant Entrepreneur Association is an association set up to help your success in business and life. Being the owner of several new businesses, I understand the challenges we all face, and surrounded by a group of smart, successful team members, we can all help each other succeed. As Dr. Ahmad just said, in year 2012, I was honored by Immigrant Women Services Ottawa and given the Business Award for trying to help women start their careers and build their businesses. I felt I didn't do enough, and I think I had the potential to help more people, not just women, but men too. So on my birthday in 2013, I decided to give myself a special gift, a gift I can enjoy for the rest of my life, a gift which is not just another purse, another good memory, but something my two little girls will be proud of, and carry the value and the volunteer spirit of helping others for their lives. This was how New Immigrant Entrepreneurs Association started. Special thanks to my accountant, Bing Wang, who is sitting there. Please stand up and wave to the audiences. Thank you. He gave me advice on how to start a nonprofit organization. And thank you, my longtime friend, Chen Tai. Chen is the founder and former president of Daidu Academy, a Chinese school, teach martial arts dance to Chinese students. He's also the owner and president of Daidu's construction company. I'm very sure he will be there whenever I need his help. I couldn't have started NIE without both of your lasting friendship. Thank you. New Immigrant Entrepreneur Association, NIE's purpose, and the purpose of our workshop is all about helping you who already kept your eyes open to seek out information, advice, help, and support to fulfill your dream. You who already took action to register our workshop and show up at our workshop. You are the person who can help yourself the most. Once you are determined, once you visualize the picture of your success, your family, your friends, people around you, us, the universe, and the whole world will help you and work for you to achieve your goals. Are you passionate? I am. I believe passion is the #1 thing to drive you and keep you continuing, moving forward, and to be every inch closer to your dream. 80% of new businesses fail within their first year. I heard that if you completed a novel, you're only 5% completed. The other 95% is marketing. By starting a business, how much percentage of work did you complete? I would say your pain just started. Leadership and management decides the success of a business. Marketing, branding, public relationship, budgeting all count big percentage. And along of all of this, you need to deal with your worries of the uncertainty, how to survive in the high competition, and so on and so on. That's why we are here. We know to help you to start your business is not merely enough at all. The more important thing is to keep you survive, not bankrupt. We know that to be great leaders, you need to be with good examples. To avoid making big mistakes, you need to learn from others' failed stories. To bring in more customers, you need to network with other business owners who also have the same needs and who have big clientele to help each other. I want to share a few tips. Be ethical, determine and clarify your principles. And once you decided, hold on with them, especially when there is big conflict with your own best interests. When you are in the situation, it seems no choice is a good choice. Choose one, and then do all your best for the best result it can be. Sometimes it might look like you are losing money-wise, but you didn't. You learned. Keep reading. It will help you find answers. It will help you to become wise. Keep learning from others, even the young ones. Keep learning the new market tools, the new technologies. Keep doing exercises. Keep healthy. Try to lose your fat and gain more muscle, so it will help you to support your spine, and it also helps to support your bone, eventually support your family and your business. Next, I want to thank a lot of volunteers to help our workshop. Thanks for Yang, who couldn't show up today, but she invited Sonic, who videoed today's workshop. She's a professional over there. Can you wave to others? Thank you. Thanks to Bruce. Can you stand up and wave to others? Who also offered help to our website. Thanks again to Change, our vice president. He has given a lot of support to us and taking photos for us today. Thank you. I invite too many volunteers. We have a lot of backups for taking photos and video. Also, Ming Yang, who is the who is the editor-in-chief of Canada China News. Where is he? Oh, Ming is here. He also brought his professional camera and taking photos for us. Special thanks to Lei, who, can you stand up and wave? He used to be the office manager of Canada China News, and then he volunteered for a full year to help people who are going to commit suicide in China. And after 1 year of free serving, out of his surprise, he got a full-time job. I'm sorry, it's a big loss for Canada China News, but I'm very happy more people will be saved in this world. And he's very supportive to New Immigrant Entrepreneur Association, especially he's very supportive to me spiritually. Thank you. And thank you for Michael. Can you stand up? The owner of Canada China News. Thank you. He had very strong support to our workshop and our association. He promotes our workshop on their newspaper, their WeChat platform, and also their website. I'm very glad you are doing much better job for Canada China News than I did. And I also want to thank Linda, the beautiful lady who is standing there. She welcomed everybody who attended the workshop with beautiful smile. My friend Peng, is Peng here? Oh, Peng, yeah. Can you wave to others, please? Before the workshop, she went to buy the name tag. We are going to use during our break, so we can have our name for everybody to recognize you. I also want to thank Xiaoqin, who was here helping me to carrying the water, being standing there waiting for me so he can help me to carrying the water too. Yeah, Wen Zhuo. Oh, my special thanks to Wen Zhuo. She also brings her camera and she will videotape video and take photos of the workshop. And she's also as friends to do all the detail work for the workshop. Did I forget anyone? Oh, Yi Yang. She's too young. She's a high school student. I must mention about her mom, Nancy. Nancy, can you stand up? Yeah. Nancy is also a business owner. After immigrant to Canada, she worked for a sushi counter, sushi courts at a big grocery store on the Quebec side. After she worked there for 1 or 2 years, and the owner asked if she can buy the food court, sushi food court. She bought it. After that, she had another one, and I think she's planning to have more. For a lady who used to live in Shanghai and almost never cooked in China, after immigrant, she started from ground. You know Shanghai girls, okay? The Shanghai man cook, not Shanghai girls. She learned from zero. Now she's a great cook. She brought her daughter Yi Yang to our workshop. Yi Yang currently is also volunteering for Ottawa Capital Chinese Language School, and she's also seeking to volunteer for the senior homes. I'm not sure if lawyer Rob Lewis can recommend a place for her to volunteer. I know you know a lot of people in Ottawa.
Sure, I'll talk to her.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to thank for my husband. Even he's not here, he's taking care of my 2 lovely girls, so I can work here. I want to. Whenever we must get the family support. Especially, I spend a lot of time and energy doing this and helping others. I'm glad he's not jealous. He also helped to move all the drinks last night into my trunk. Before he brought my children to the Good Life this morning, he remembered to have the children, 3 years old children, call me on phone and saying, "Good luck with your workshop, mommy." I feel very lucky to have all of them. So I believe what we do for others, we do for ourselves. What you put on, you get back. If we are being kind, kindness will be returned to us. Next, I want to introduce our speaker, Dr. Ken. Dr. Hayden Kahan is co-founder and president of HRZ Research and Consultancy. Dr. Kahan is an inventor, an entrepreneur, and a scientist. He is also Professor Mine's husband, or the other way around. Dr. Kahan accepted my invitation to serve as the Vice President of New Immigrant Entrepreneur Association. The beautiful workshop flyers were designed and made by Dr. Kahan. He also created our registration link. He provided technical support for our workshop. He also involved in every detail of our workshop. Please welcome Dr. Kahan.
Thank you, Ren. It's my pleasure, actually, to serve as a Vice President of NIE Canada. We knew her with my wife, and then we were talking, and then I learned lots about NIE Canada, and we wanted to volunteer, and we want to do for the community. And we went to China last year, and then we loved the culture and everything. So that's another way how we got more closer. So today, the workshop that I'm going to speak is it's a very inspirational, because when we created Eventbrite, the capacity was 50, and then we reserved this room. And we thought, okay, 50 will be a little bit tough, but within 2 weeks it's full. So it's a very good opportunity for us to get all of you, and we found that you are very interested. So we want to do for the NIE to know how to start business, and this is the workshop that we are giving the essential information. So for this, we are bringing, as Roxana said, from the bank, people from bank, from accounting, from lawyer. But this is all in one workshop. You cannot give everything in one day. And also, how to start your business, we cannot talk in one day. It's a couple of processes you have to go through. So today I will speak a little bit about how to start your business, but then the couple of processes how you need to go, and then one of the steps I will discuss a little bit, and at the end maybe we'll go, this will be the series of lectures, workshop that we can bring together, and then we don't know what stage you are. So we have to bring the mentor in the right moment you need that, because someone you are thinking to start your business, so that you need in one type of mentor, then you are already in the business, or you need some lawyer support. So that's the different stages, and we want to help from NIE Canada. That's our goal. So for my presentation, I will talk about a little bit about the entrepreneurship, then I will talk about the entrepreneurial process, and then I will talk about the one step, that is concept of entrepreneurship. A little bit, we know everyone knows this thing, but I'm just reminding as an immigrant what kind of problem we face and what is the myth and what is the reality. So the entrepreneurship, because I want to give a little bit introduction, you know, because Canadian government, according to Industry Canada, this is very important because entrepreneurship is the driving force. It's bringing the economy, like the growth and productivity, job creation that helps you. So Canadian government is giving more force on this entrepreneurship these days. And if we can see like that, then this is today's workshop, which can tell you that yes, lots of people, they are thinking or they are becoming entrepreneurs because lots of reasons. And as Luxana said, it might be the happiness, it might be the survival, it might be the choice, or I have some experience in back home, and why don't do this? Or why I don't do for the economical, like the more some financial support for my income. So that could be the reason. So the other thing is, we know that this is the challenge. We know that already Renan mentioned that like 80% is failed and only 20% survive. But I want to tell you this way, how we can change this number. We want to say, okay, we always know 20% is success rate and 80% fail. So that means I was thinking whether I will go or not for the business. But as NIE, part of NIE, how we can change this number. Say, the example is, if I take 5, like those who want to be an entrepreneur, and according to this statistics, it says like only one of them will be successful, other 4 fail. But can we change this number? If we train them, if we give them support for our community, can we change this? Can we make 5, I would say, okay, out of 5, can we make it 2? Or 10 out of, can we make it, say, or 20, can we make it 3? So you increase your percentage of, so that number can be changed. How? Giving the support. Giving the support from different level of mentorship that we want to do. So, as we said, like to become an entrepreneur, you have to have a couple of things. One thing is you need the entrepreneurial knowledge, you need the experiential learning, and you need the venture support. So this is the 3 pillars that you need to become an entrepreneur. And we want to give this support in different stages. So if I say the entrepreneurial process, I would say all of the 10 processes that I adopted to become an entrepreneur. So first, you have to have the concept of entrepreneurship. And you have to know what is that. It might be in back home in different, here is different, but we have to know the culture, the country where we are living now. So that's very, very important. Then also, you have to assess your potential, right? Because you have to know what potential you have. I will go very quickly because this is the stages we will go later on to give you learning in different stages what you did. So exploring, once you get this, and then you can explore your business ideas and opportunities. How to do that? In that stage you need someone. So who can give you different idea or business idea, and what type of idea? Is it valid? Is it good? Is it bad? Lots of things. Also, the other thing is, I think we have the different technical support, different mentor. They can help you. That whether you want to buy a business or you considering a franchise. So that can be the, so what you are thinking in mind, yeah, I'm thinking these things, so you need help. Okay, NIE Canada will help in that way, giving your mentor what needs to be done. Then customer discovery. This is the very crucial part. Once you know that, you have to discover what type of customers you are going to. So through the process of what is your business. Then you validate that business. These are all are the process. This is kind of academic, but for our purpose, we will go to differently. We will talk about differently to see how we can do not the way of book way. We want to do it differently, engaging mentor, giving different type of support in all this your entrepreneurial process. Then how you organize your startup. That's another stage. Then protecting your idea. I think Rob Lewis will talk about this thing. And then arranging your financing. That is the maybe we'll do about that part. And finally, preparing your business plan. We'll go through. So this is the process. So now I'll show you this. This is the stages that I said in the 10 stages. You see how the curve is. Number 6 is like the validate your business idea. If you don't validate your business idea, you think lots of things, but it will not work. So that is the important part. You need to do it during your entrepreneurial process. So you have to give lots of force in that places. Other you can go talk and then, but there's lots of force in you have to put in that place. Now the first one you said like the concept of entrepreneurship. I will give very briefly about the concept of entrepreneurship a little bit, about the myths and reality. So. See, the myth one is like we always know that entrepreneurs are born, not made. That we always say. But what is the reality? The reality is entrepreneurs are made through a combination of work experience. I will read slowly so that everyone understands. Know-how, personal contacts, and development of business skills over time. So you see the difference, what's the reality. And then the second one is, we think like what's the myth? Anyone can start business. It's just a matter of luck and guts. Is it that true? What do you think? Is it that true?
No.
No. Yeah. So you see. So reality is entrepreneurs need to recognize the difference between an idea and a real opportunity. That you have to know the idea and the real opportunity. So. The third one is entrepreneurs are gamblers, that we always see. But let's say the reality is what? The reality is entrepreneurs try to influence the odds by getting others to share the risk with them. They do not deliberately seek to take risks or to take unnecessary risks. We always say that, but that is the truth. Then we go for the fourth one. We say the entrepreneurs wants to run the whole show themselves. But actually that's not the right thing. We always say that, but that's not the right truth also. The reality is single entrepreneurs can make a living, but it is extremely difficult to grow a business by working single-handed. You see, you need partners. You need like-minded people to work on your business. So next one is what is that? Entrepreneurs are their own bosses and completely independent. That we always say like I want to be my own boss. Is it that's true? That's not always true too. So because the most entrepreneurs are far from independent and have to solve the number of constitutions and variety of methods. You see, I want to be my own boss, but not that the reality. So myth 6 is what entrepreneurs work longer and harder than corporate managers. It depends. It's like okay, let's say what the reality. It depends. So no evidence, like it's not like, okay, I have to work longer. It depends on life and work balance. So how about they are tied to business and responsible in ways that are different from that of their employees. So they are the boss and they have to do it differently than the employees. So what's the myth 7? is entrepreneurs face greater stress and more pressure, and thus pay higher personal price in their job than other managers. So let's see what the reality is. The reality is being an entrepreneur is undoubtedly stressful and demanding. However, most entrepreneurs enjoy what they do. They have a high sense of accomplishment and they thrive on flexibility and innovation approach. You see the differences, so we have to think in this. And this is as an, I'm talking about since we are all immigrants. So from immigrant perspective, we have to think like, okay, what we heard is not the truth. We have to think about the reality and go for the business. And always you have to keep in mind, always you have to see, sometimes you do business, maybe all of them we know, but we forgot. So we have to remind ourselves like, okay, I am not my own boss. Starting a business is risky and it often ends failure. That is the point I actually discussed earlier, because we know that, but the reality is what? The statement is undoubtedly true, 80% starts fail within the first 5 years. Yes, that is the reality. But in Canada again, this process, through this process, we want to change this number, and that's our goal to help you. Money is the most important ingredient for success. Is it that true? What do you think? I think once someone said like, okay, you need the money to go for the success. What do you think? No. Yeah, that's the reality. It's not, the money is not true. Money is one of the least important ingredients of every venture success. Because you, of course, money, but it's the least important. You have to have the other. You have to have passion to do that. Otherwise, if you have lots of money but you don't have any idea, you cannot do that. You cannot do your business at all. So now the 10 is new business starts up for the young and energetic people. Yes, that's we always say, but it's never too late to start. You can start your business anytime. Yes. While young and youth may help, but age is absolutely no barrier to starting a business of your own. So anytime we can start our business. Then number 11 is entrepreneurs motivated solely by their quest for the almighty dollar. So let's see what's the reality. You see, the reality is having a sense of personal accomplishment and achievement, feeling control of their own destiny, and realizing their vision and dreaming are also powerful motivation. Money is a way of keeping score. So that's the reality. And the last one, entrepreneurs seek power and control over the people so that they can feel in charge. So what is the reality? The reality is successful entrepreneurs are driven by quest for responsibility, achievement and results, rather than for power for its sake. So this is the concept of entrepreneurship, and then I was trying to bring all these 12 myths and versus reality to remind yourself. But in future, when we do our workshop, and we will go this stage and do the individual attention, giving you in what stage you are, and then helping you and bringing the right person, so that right person can mentor you at the right time. And it's not like one mentor can help you throughout your process. We have to engage you in different stages, different mentors. So that's all I want to talk today, and maybe we'll talk later on in individual workshop. Thank you again for listening, and we can talk later on if you have any question or anything. Thank you.
Our next speaker is lawyer Rob Lewis. Mr. Lewis is the founder and senior counsel of Robert A. Lewis Professional Corporation. He is a lawyer and businessman with decades of experience and an entrepreneur at heart. He started his first business when he was only 12 years old. Mr. Lewis practices in the area of corporate and commercial law, wills and estates, and real estate, with a special focus on business strategy, succession, and estate planning. There is a very famous Chinese lawyer, Zheng Wang, in the Chinese community. And Anderson Zheng, he recently joined lawyer Rob Lewis' firm. So let's welcome lawyer Rob Lewis. We also have another Chinese lawyer, Ting Chen, with us today. You want to stand up and wave to others. He's also very involved in the Chinese community and helping others. Thanks for coming.
So good afternoon, everybody. I think I have about 20 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So as Ren said, I am a lawyer, but I was a businessman long before I ever went to law school. And I have the unusual experience of having started businesses, sold them, bought them, bankrupted them. Okay? I had to close a business, had to make a very difficult financial decision that the business, because of changes in the economy, was a trucking business. And if you remember, back in 2009, fuel prices spiked that one winter, and we had an OC Transpo strike which crippled the streets of Ottawa, had an enormous impact on my business, and I had to make a decision. Either I'm going to refinance my house, dump a bunch of money into this company and hope that in 3 years it'll turn around, or I can pull the plug. And I was the biggest secured creditor, so I had to be both the owner and the receiver of my own business. So I have a lot of experience in helping people to know how to start a business, how to buy or sell a business, and how to get out if it looks like it's time to get out. And if you're not prepared to make that decision, you shouldn't start. Everybody plans for success, but as Dr. Khan was saying, not everyone is fortunate enough to get it. So I'm going to assume this works. No, sorry.
I really love the new technology, is that technology, WeChat. We recently started New Immigrant Entrepreneurs WeChat group. Within 2 weeks, we have now almost 142 members. Some people say this is a group. You can get any answer if you ask, and you can get any help if you ask. Just now, when I was sitting there, I sent for the WeChat and I received several messages. Miss Kan Yao, he just offered if he can provide us some sushi. I kindly refused him, saying, I'm sorry, no food is allowed here in this community center for our workshop.
How about parking lot?
Parking lot is free. Okay. It's in downtown area. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that you've already made the decision to go into business. You've already thought about what kind of business that you want to be in, what your strategy is going to be. I'm going to talk to you today about how to structure your business, okay? Which is a different consideration than what type of business am I going to be in. Next slide. So when it comes time to pick a structure for your business, you need to ask yourself some questions as they pertain to legal things. This is different from accounting, different from staffing, different from financing. How are you going to set yourself up for success? So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, where is my business going to be? And depending on the answer to that, it may have an impact on the structure that you pick. For example, are you going to operate in Ontario and Quebec? Are you going to operate nationally? Okay? Because where you have to register and the licensing requirements differ from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. So be aware of that. The next basic thing is how many owners, I use that in quotations, how many owners are going to be involved? Is it just you? Is it you and a family member? Is it you and a friend? You and a benefactor who's going to loan you money to get started? Because the answer to that will absolutely dictate what business structure you should pick. Where's your money coming from? Is this money you have saved up? Are your in-laws going to lend it to you? Is someone going to give it to you? Are you going to start with nothing and grow organically? Good luck with that. And more importantly, how do you plan to mitigate risk? Okay, and by that I mean, what can you do to make sure that if the business fails, you don't lose everything? And that's a very, very important thing. We do want entrepreneurs to put their heart and soul into the business, but we don't want them to put their shirt in there too. Okay, next slide please. Do you have a trade name that you want to use? More importantly, is it available? Does somebody own the copyright, the trademark? Does someone already have a business registered with that same name? Do you know how to check? Make sure that you don't get yourself in trouble. Do you need a special permit or license for the type of business you're going into? Okay? Some businesses and services are regulated in some jurisdictions and not in others. Naturopathic medicine is one. Certain types of massage require a license and are governed by a college in Ontario, and other types are not. Some types of massage, of course, are not legal anywhere. Do you need to register with WSIB? That's the Workplace Safety and Information Board. I can tell you I see many young businesses that completely miss the boat on this. Nobody told them. Then the government finds out that you have employees that you've been paying under the table. They come in, they do an audit, they whack you with big fines, and it's not pretty. So ask the question before you get started. And this is a big one. How are you going to get paid? Are you a cash-only business? Are you going to take checks? Are you going to do business on the internet? Are you going to take credit cards through a point-of-sale terminal? Are you going to take credit cards even when the card isn't present in your hand? And the answer to that will also dictate what structure you have. I'm going to talk in a little while about limited liability. Just remember that phrase, limited liability. Okay, next please. So, if you're going to be a sole proprietor, which means you are the business is you, your legal entity is the same as the business entity. So if you're Zhang's Restaurant, then that means that everything that you own is part of Zhang's Restaurant. Your bank account is the business's bank account. The business's debts are your debts. Any of your suppliers that have to be paid are your personal responsibility. If your business gets sued, you get sued. Everything that you own is available to satisfy the creditors of the business if the business fails. Why people like sole proprietorship is it's easy. 60 bucks gets you a business license in the province of Ontario. If nobody objects to the name you filed, you can carry on business until someone raises a red flag. 60 bucks is pretty cheap. You can get a vendor's permit from the city of Ottawa, just a few dollars. Hang up your shingle, hope that the world beats a path to your door. The problems with sole proprietorship, though, and a big one, is it's very hard to raise money. Nobody wants to lend money to a sole proprietor. They really don't care about the strength of the business. They care about the character and net worth of the owner. So it takes the focus away from the idea and the viability of the business and focuses that light directly on the person starting the business. And that may or may not be good, depending on where you are at that stage in your life. all income that a sole proprietorship makes is reported as personal income. Does anybody know what the top marginal income tax rate is in Ontario this year? 42. No, closer to 45. Okay? Does anybody know what the marginal tax rate for a closely controlled private corporation in Ontario is this year? You know? About 15.5. About a third. Okay? And this is the big one, unlimited personal risk. If you're a sole proprietor, as I said, you are the business. And if the business fails, and you can't satisfy the obligations of the business, or pay the fines, or pay the interest, or pay the penalties, or pay the legal judgment, you're going to go bankrupt. Okay? So think about that for sole proprietorship. Yes, please. Maybe you want to be a partnership. And the word partner is one of the most often misused terms in the business world. Partner in the legal sense is what I'm going to talk about, okay? Not the person that you live with or someone you have common ideas with or someone who's helping you in the business. But a legal partner is someone who owns the business with you and shares the legal risk with you, shares the profits, and shares the debts. So two of you may decide to go into business together. You're each going to put up $5,000. You're both going to work your tails off in hope that everything works out. It is very low startup. You have to register a business name. Your partnership must have a name. But interestingly, a partnership is not a taxable entity. And by that I mean any money that the partnership makes, the partners have to take into income and report as personal income at their own taxable rate. So if you're already a successful person and you're already paying 40+% marginal tax rate, any business money, any business income that your partnership makes, you're going to have to pay the top rate on, even if your business only makes a little bit of money. Because the business doesn't get the benefit of graduated tax rates, and there's no basic personal exemption for the business. Okay? So the fact that it's simple and apparently cheap doesn't necessarily mean this is the right vehicle for you. But that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that as a partner, you are legally responsible for the actions of your other partners. So what does that mean? Suppose that Renren and I go into business and I make a very bad decision and I get sued because of what I did in the business. And Renren wasn't even there that day. She's never met the client, never touched the file, didn't even know what I had done. In fact, she's on vacation in Costa Rica for 3 weeks when this happens. But because I made a mistake and I'm liable and I get sued for it, Renren is equally liable. So if I can't pay the judgment, she has to pay, or else her personal assets are put at risk as well. And a lot of people don't understand this fundamental aspect of partnership, at least in Ontario. So not only do you have the unlimited liability for any mistakes that you make, you have unlimited liability for any mistakes that your partner makes. Now, I'm talking about a general partnership, not a limited partnership, and yes, there are exceptions, but basically speaking, the three structures I want to talk to you today about are sole proprietorship, partnership, and now if you'll turn to the next slide, incorporation. I can tell you that in my business practice, I see fewer and fewer and fewer sole proprietorships and almost no partnerships for the reasons that I told you about. So the people that actually go and get advice on how to set up their business correctly, almost invariably, they end up with an incorporation. So what does that mean? What is a corporation? It is a separate legal entity. It is a separate taxable entity, which means that anything the corporation does and any money that the corporation earns or loses is independent, separate from your own assets and liability. So if you decide to go into business and you put $50,000 into your corporation, and the corporation fails, with very few exceptions, all you've lost is the $50,000. And even if the corporation owes $500,000, unless there's fraud or it's employer remittance or something unusual, environmental liability, very few exceptions, you're not responsible. So if you have to close the business, you can close the business and move on with your life. And the Business Corporations Act of Ontario and the Canada Business Corporations Act and the Bankruptcy and Insolvency Act, all of which work hand in hand to deal with business liability and restructuring, are all structured around this concept of limited liability. So your liability is limited to whatever amount you decided to put into the company. Okay? So, I mentioned there's a preferred tax rate for most small business corporations, up on the first $500,000 of income per year. It's a big deal. There's also a capital gains exemption possibly available for you when you sell the shares in the business. Sell it at arm's length, market value, hold it for at least 2 years. 90% of the assets are involved in the generation of what they call active business income. There are some prerequisites, but I'll say that most small businesses who are corporations qualify and get that exemption. Why does that matter? Because if you're lucky enough that your business succeeds and it's worth some money, when you go to sell it, you don't have to pay capital gains tax on the value of the increase in your business. It is the single biggest tax gift left in the Income Tax Act. So if you think your business is going to be successful and it's going to make, I'll say, $50,000 or more, you should be looking at this, in my opinion, as your structure. Ownership is transferable, separate and apart from your assets. You can sell your shares in the business without having any impact on the rest of your net worth. There are some limitations, though. It can be a little more expensive to set up a corporation than a partnership or a sole proprietorship, and more record keeping is involved to do it properly. And I pause right here to say that this is where most small business corporations fail. Because even if they get advice in setting the corporation up correctly in the first place, they take their minute book, their corporate records, and they put it on a shelf, and they never look at it again. So I'm here to tell you, if that's you, and you've done that, you're going to have a problem. The question isn't, are you going to have a problem? The question is, when are you going to have a problem? And I'll explain more in detail a little bit later, but you should look at incorporation as a one-time process. It is at least an annual process. And every week it seems I get someone come into my office for advice with a corporate problem. I ask them if they're incorporated. They say yes. I say, great, can I see your minute book? And they say, my what? I say, I thought you said you were incorporated. Oh, I am. Well, okay. How did you incorporate? Oh, I went online and I paid $50 and they did it for me and they sent me my articles of incorporation in the mail. I'll say, great. Who are the directors? Who are your officers? Who owns the shares? How do you get money out? So they did the first 5% of the work and they didn't finish. If you're going to skimp somewhere in starting your business, folks, don't make it here. Okay, this is not the place to be too cheap to do it properly. Because if you're not going to do it properly, don't bother, just be a sole proprietor. Okay? It just isn't for a few $100. That's not the place to shave. So, in deciding between those three structures that I talked about, you also have some non-legal considerations. They're related, but not purely legal. When do you want the fiscal year end of the business to be? By that I mean, if you incorporate, you can actually choose what is the end of your business year and when do you have to pay tax within reason. So within 53 weeks of incorporating, you have to have a fiscal year. But if you time it correctly, and you're taking money out of the corporation, sometimes you can get yourself an extra 2 years tax holiday by declaring your dividend in January of this year, for example, and not having to pay income tax on that amount personally until you file in April of 2016. So there's some great advantages there. Some other things you should think about: how do you want to take money out of the corporation? What else do you have going on in your life? Is this going to be your only source of income? Or do you already have a career or a successful business and this is something you're doing on the side? Are you going to take salary? Or are you going to wait until the business makes money before you take your money out? Do you want to take money back that you invested into the corporation without having to make it taxable? Okay, you can pay yourself back money that you loaned to the business. That's not income if it's done correctly. Okay? And are you going to take out dividends? How many of you are looking at starting a business and you want to split income around your family? Maybe you have kids, a spouse, maybe you're saving money for your kids' university. You're hoping that the business is going to make money and you want to use that money to pay for the kids' education or buy them a condo while they're studying or buy them a car when they're done. So we have our ESPs in some vehicles. But corporations can be among the very best vehicles that exist to do that. Because you could dividend money out to family members from an active business corporation. You can probably put $30,000 a year in the hands of each of your kids tax-free. So think about it. Another thing that people sometimes forget is HST registration. Okay? So the government requires, if your business is going to do at least $30,000 of business in a year, it must register. That's the law. Okay? Even if you're a cash business, you still have to register. And they're pretty hard on people who don't. But I tell people, unless you're dishonest and trying to hide the business, there's really no reason not to register. Because as soon as you register, you get to claim what's called input tax credits. Meaning anything you buy for the business where you pay GST, you're going to get it back. So there's a 13% immediate savings from day one. Yes, the form is a pain in the ass. Nobody wants to do the paperwork. But there's really no reason not to do this, folks. How many times?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay. I just want to talk for a minute about buying a business as opposed to starting one on your own. Okay? And I get a lot of work from people related to the purchase and sales of business that they tried to do themselves and something went wrong. Usually what went wrong is they did it on a handshake and they found out that what they were buying wasn't what the vendor said they were buying. Sometimes the vendor doesn't even actually own the business. If there's no agent or broker involved, that should be a warning sign to you. It's not a bonus. Having that person involved, A, adds somebody else's liability insurance into the mix. Okay? It also means that someone who's not the owner has looked at the business, checked out what the assets are, at least checked whether there's financial statements, and tried to explain and show the business in a light other than just the owner. So I'm very careful about private sales. Be very careful about non-disclosure agreements. Okay? Before you sign one, unless your English is really good and you're completely comfortable with contract law, get somebody to read it over. Be very careful. Some non-disclosure agreements actually say that if you're a buyer of a business and you look at this business and decide not to buy it, you can't go into a similar business yourself for a fixed period of time. So suppose I want to buy an existing seafood restaurant and I go and look at this seafood restaurant and I realize that the guy's a crook and all his financial statements are fraudulent and I don't want anything to do with him. I might as well just start my own seafood business. I better be careful what I sign because maybe I can't. Maybe they can sue me if I do. Agreement of purchase and sale, that's the legal document that describes what you're buying, when and in what form. Don't sign one without getting someone to review it. many law firms in town will give you a free consultation, including my firm. Okay? At least pick up the phone and try to get some help. Don't do it on your own. Which leads me, I don't think I have time to get into this in detail. There is a difference in buying a business of whether you're buying just the assets of the business or buying the shares. If anyone is really interested in this, see me at the break and I'll go through it with you. But I do want to talk a little bit about do-it-yourself legal documents. Okay? And I realize that I'm biased and I have more than a little bit of interest in this. But I can tell you that I have never, in almost 24 years of practice, I have never seen an incorporation done by an individual themselves or by their accountant friend that was done correctly. Never in 24 years. So, because it's so important and because the advantages are so great, get some help. And if you're looking at buying a business, you want to flip to the next slide. This is what you should expect a lawyer to do for you if you go and ask for help. So they're going to find out whether the person actually owns the business that they're trying to sell you. Are you actually getting what you think? Is there goodwill? Are there fixed assets, or are they already pledged to the bank? Is the business already insolvent, and any money you give the vendor, he's going to take off to Mexico with? Are the records in order? Do they owe money to the government? Why is that important? Because if they owe money to the government can come in and seize the bank accounts without notice and take whatever they're owed right out of your pocket. A lot of people don't realize that. The powers that the federal government has for employer remittances and HST are very, very broad. You want to get a clearance certificate, which means the government agency you ask will give you a piece of paper saying this business doesn't owe any money. So it's not enough just for the vendor to say, oh yeah, we pay everything, it's all good. You get something from the government that gives you that protection. It also allows you to check for outstanding judgments against the business. If you don't know how to do that, you can get some help. And you can get security for your own investment or the family money or friends' money that are helping you get started. Okay, I think I've gone too long. Are there any questions?
I think we'll have the break first.
Okay. Okay, sure. So I'm going to leave a little document here on the table for you. Any of you wants to pick it up? It's got contact information for us. There's a pen there that has my phone number on it. Grab a pen, and I'll hang around during the break if anyone wants to ask any questions. Thank you.
We have a 15-minute break. Ms. Shan is a small business advisor at TD Canada Trust. She received her MBA degree from Harvard School of Management. Ms. Shan has years of experience and knowledge as a financial advisor and in business management. Please welcome Ms. Xia Shan.
Thank you for organizing this event. In the past, we have a business community, we have a lot of business owners, they all work individually, and this is a nice opportunity for us to all gather together, we share experiences, and it's I really feel honored to be invited to do this speech. So surprisingly, one of the big challenges business owners face is dealing with banks. So I want to assure you, so the bank is not really the challenge you will face. Actually, we are there to help you to start and grow your business with our business banking solutions. So today I'm going to talk about how a small business advisor, how from the banking perspective, how our products and services can help you, in your journey to be an entrepreneur. So I know a lot of them are already existing business owners who may already know this, but I prepared this presentation for the people who want to start their business, who are thinking about starting their business. So please bear with me if you already know what I'm talking about. So this is today's presentation agenda. So I want to let you know, briefly introduce what is a small business banking, what does small business advisor do, what is our job as a lender from a TD Bank's perspective, types of financing available, the client interview and information required, evaluation of loan requests, other products and services for business owners. Okay, so what is really the small business banking? I know this is a really generic question. As a small business advisor, we deal with business owners on a daily basis. When you decide which bank you want to choose for your future business needs, you want to consider a lot of things. Starting a business is very stressful. You need to work long hours. You put yourself out there, to start your business. Business is your baby. So TD Canada Trust is known for longer hours and then our extensive network of branches and known as the most convenient bank in North America. So small business banking in the American segment, we highly focus on providing increased accessibility and convenience for our small business customers. And we provide fast, easy access to credit business customer need. So we kind of include the process for credit underwriting this year. For any amount lower than 50,000, you don't actually need to go through complicated, underwriting process, providing your financial statements. All we need is your personal net worth information, your personal income, and we go from there. We don't need a business plan, and we extend so many pre-approved offers for existing business, personal customers. So even before you want to start your business, register your corporation or your sole partnership, your pre-approved offers is already there based on your relationship with TD Bank. And we also offer a suite of non-credit products tailored to small business market. So I'm going to talk more about that in slide 3. Small business advisor, that's what I do. A lot of people probably don't know, I do this. A lot of people don't even know this position exists in the banking world. So business advisor, know and understand what you need an entrepreneur. We provide advice on building business plan and assessing business financing need based on different industry and based on your situation. And we help setting up your streamlined day-to-day banking to save you time and money. So we not only provide standardized plan you probably see on the bank's website, like type A, B, C, D. We also have customized plan. So a lot of business, I know, for example, convenience store, you need to deposit a lot of cash. So none of the plans may work for you. It's very expensive for you to operate under the standardized plan. So we can actually submit for approval to get you the customized plan to save you money. A lot of personal advisors, they never even know these plans exist. And we provide options advice for business financing. We provide advice on how to effectively manage your cash flow. We have tools to help you to do cash flow projections. We provide advice on how to pay your employees. And actually, the lawyer, Dr. Mr. Levy's already talked about some of those, like getting paid dividend or draws. But in the banking world, we have actually ways to realize your payment between your personal account and business account. And we provide insights on convenient ways for you to pay and get paid. We provide financial advice that evolves as your business grows. So our job doesn't just stop after the business bank account opens. Your business needs to grow. You need, business advisor as one of the professionals on your team to help you in your journey. And we seek alternative financing options to meet your financing needs. So a lot of times, you might not fit into the box of the banking world. And we do have a variety of connections, like BDC, like mortgage brokers, external partners that you refer business to. What we really want is to get you where you want to be. Not just from TV. Like personally, I actually admire you guys because I have no courage to start my business. I haven't even thought about that. you have the courage, determination, and discipline to do this. So I admire you on a daily basis. So I'm there to help you. Okay. So who are our typical customers and entrepreneurs, professionals, franchisees? Normally your sales is less than 5 million and you have less than 10 employees. In your borrowing consideration, a lot of times you only need to borrow less than 60,000. And what is our job as a lender? So we look for good credit risk for lending banks money. So I'm going to talk more about what we really look at when we evaluate the loan application. There are ratios including debt service coverage, debt to equity, and capacity to look at to evaluate your request. So I'm not going to go to details about how to calculate ratios, but these terms you probably will hear more when you do the loan applications. And before I even do the credit check, the first thing I do is to calculate these ratios. If I don't really think the loan is going to be approved, I won't waste your time. So it's nice to talk with your business advisor. I mean, a lot of times entrepreneurs wait until the last minute after they make the purchase. The sales offer, they come to see me. I need the money next week because my deadline for the financing is next week. So we need to see you before that. Before you're even thinking of starting your business, you're thinking of buying an existing business. It's nice to have a conversation with us to get yourself ready to know what we look at and what documents we need. So we try to evaluate the business idea and cash flow projections or the past record as seen in the financial statements. So types of financing. So you need financing for working capital. So for example, if you need your short-term, short-term money to cover your payroll, your rent, your supplies before your sales turn into real cash, or you have a seasonal business and you need short-term cash to cover low season, or you just need the money to survive your startup stage. We have a product to help you that. We offer operating loans for short-term requirements, business overdraft protection, business line or credit attached to your business account to really help you to meet your short-term borrowing needs. And we offer loans for fixed assets. So term loan, Canadian Small Business Financing Program. We're going to talk more about the second one because that's the most popular product for new startup business we offer. So let's say you need to buy an existing business. You need to start your franchise. You need money to pay for your equipment, leasehold improvement. You need to renovate your restaurant, buy commercial property. So we offer loans. And we also do business mortgages to purchase or refinance commercial properties. So a lot of times when your business grows, or even when you initially need to buy a business, you probably are two options. You just buy the business, or you buy the business plus a commercial property where this business is located. A lot of times in Gatineau, there are a lot of those convenience stores, plus a commercial property. You can choose to buy both. We have options to help you to do financing. So we finance up to 75% of the property value for more than 50% owner-occupied commercial properties. So what that means is the business owner, the business itself, occupy more than 50% of this commercial property. And we finance up to 60% of property value for less than 50% owner-occupied commercial properties. So that's called commercial investment properties. So you just buy this property, rent out. We do financing for that up to 60%. And we also do multi-unit residential mortgage. So that's more than 5 units. That is actually a small business product. It's not really a personal mortgage product. And we do that. That's our specialization. And we also do financing for rural properties. So Canadian Small Business Financing Program. So this one you probably hear the most. Because the bank, for new startup, there are a lot of risks involved. We don't have a financial statements in the past, and fully based on the business plan and cash flow projection. So it's easier for the bank because they're financing if there's a government guarantee. What that means, if your business fails, and you have no money or no assets to pay off this loan, to make the loan payment, the government will pay us back. So that's probably the number one product the bank is willing to consider when they lend money to start up, to new entrepreneurs. So your loan have to be used for one of the following purposes. So purchase or improvement of real property, leasehold improvement, purchase or improve new or used equipment. So cannot be, let's say I want to start an IT business, like I'm not buying any equipment or doing actually tangible leasehold agreement, it's not for that. A maximum amount is 500,000. And the Canadian Small Business Financing mortgages can be up to 90% of the property value. So in the previous slide, we talked about business mortgage. That's up to 75%. But in this case, we can go up to 90%, but interest rate is higher. So no time to go into details, maybe in the future workshops. Okay, franchise tax. The reason why I want to talk about franchises, because franchises is really a very common way we see like immigrants how they start their business. Because a lot of times you don't know the culture, you don't know the competition, you don't know how business works here. It's nice, maybe your first business could be a franchise because you get the training from the franchisor. Although you pay a franchise fee, but the risk is minimized because you're really operating a successful franchise. It's not a new business, it's an existing business. So franchise business accounts for 40% of all retail sales. So if you're new to Canada, you go around, you might see, why do I always see the same thing in every shopping mall? There are franchises. Yeah, it's a really common way for people to do business here. There are over 78,000 franchise units across Canada. Franchising directly employs over 1 million people, and every year thousands of Canadians are improving their lives by becoming franchisees. And franchising accounts for 10% of Canada's GDP. And franchising has been reported to account for 1 out of every 5 consumer dollars spent in Canadian goods and services. So it's a big player on the market. So Canadian Small Business Financing loan can finance up to 90% for certain eligible franchises. So we have a list of franchises we're willing to lend up to 90%. So if you don't have a lot of initial startup capital, you don't want to take a lot of risk, franchise might be the top choice for you to start up your business. You might want to, run up franchise first, then go to other business later. But this way you take less risk. And small business interview. So this is how it's going to happen. So let's say you decide to open a business. You're going to see a banker for your initial meeting. So we're going to ask you these questions. So what is the purpose of loan request? What is really the amount you need to borrow? So I will sit down with you and spend time with you to calculate how much you need to borrow based on what you have in your bank account, what's going to be the startup cost. A lot of things you probably don't know, like as a startup business, there are a lot of fees. We not only just need to see the bank, how much you have in the bank account, we also need to see the proof of working capital. And security being offered. Do you have a home, for example, you're willing to secure? What will be the security? Will be the equipment or leasehold improvement under this business you're willing to secure? Repayment terms. Equity in your industry experience, ownership structure, and Mr. Luis already talked about that. Okay, and personal network statement will be okay. So these are the information required. I'm not going to go into a lot of details because I only have 5 minutes left. So it really depends on the situation. Let's say if you're buying existing business, we definitely need to see the last 2 years' financial statements. If you are starting up a completely new business, we need to see the business plan. So the business plan is the most important document for new startups. And I don't have time to talk in detail about how you can write a successful business plan. We can talk about it maybe after the presentation. If you have any questions, please come to me. And evaluation of your loan request. So we evaluate the strengths of your business plan, management capabilities. Did you have management experience? For example, personal credit rating. If you're new to Canada, make sure you go to the bank, get a secure credit card or a credit card to start building your credit history. That's very important. Without credit history, we can't get you anything. So the opportunity for success in the marketplace, industry overview, contingency plan or fallback position. A resume will help. So business plan plus your resume and plus the cash flow projections. So we look at the character, credit, capacity, and collateral. These are the four most important things we look at when we evaluate the loan. So character, do you pay your bills on time? Do you run the business? Do you move often? Are you a mature person? So your character can be analyzed by different factors. Credit, what is your credit rating? Capacity, will the business generate at least 125% coverage of payments? Collateral, are you willing to offer more additional collateral for this loan request? So we look at the beacon score, strengths of guarantee, your personal net worth, that's your personal assets minus your personal liabilities. If your net worth is negative or zero, the possibility for the bank to lend you money it's probably not big. Security coverage, debt service coverage, debt to net worth combined, years in business, you are buying an existing business, how many years have this business been operated? Is that more than 5 years or less than 5 years? Industry risk rating, industry is very important too. Credibility of financial statements or projections, strengths, depth, and experience of client management team. So we do offer other products and services for business owners, not just credit. We have business investment solutions to help you to make more money if you're at a stage to accumulate wealth. We have deposit business. We have cash management. So let's say you open a Taekwondo. I'm just saying an example, Taekwondo training center, and you need to collect money from your customer's bank account. We have cash management product to help you to do that. And we have payroll services and merchant services. If you need a merchant service, TD is actually the only bank who offers internal merchant service. So we also have the mobile merchant service. Business credit card and venture credit card, future builder for your employees, and other retail products. So I think my time is already up. And I know I have a tendency to go too fast here. If you have any questions, please come to me, and I'll be very happy to answer any questions you have. So this is my contact information. Please feel free to get my card. I know I'm probably, the only small business advisor speaking Mandarin in Ottawa. I'm very proud to be that person. I really want to, leverage my expertise to help you. I have a lot of my existing customers in my branch, but if you come to me for any questions, I will never say no. So this is my contact information. I'm very happy to meet with every one of you, and really thank for all the volunteers and Union for organizing this event. Thank you.
As Sha just remember at the beginning of her presentation, I like the long operating hours of TD Bank. That's one of the main reasons I choose TD for all of my business accounts. We also have another James here. He also does, but he also does small business accounts or commercial, not commercial. So it's bigger. If you have some bigger project, you can go to James. He's one thing there. I'm big. He has a lot of clients. Like most of the bigger companies on Bank Streets, he was helping them. He is helping them. And also, when I purchased China News newspaper business, I used the line of credits against my home equity. And at that time, I didn't know there were so many choices. I can get help from TD. After this presentation, I think every one of us become more informed. Next speaker is my accountant, Bing Wang. He's not only my accountant, he's the accountant of so many Chinese businesses in Ottawa. Dr. Wang is a chartered professional accountant and certified management accountant. Dr. Wang is a partner and director of Expert Business Solution, a chief financial advisor, founder, and director of several other national, international companies and associations. Dr. Wang has extensive experiences in business tax and accounting services for small business in Canada and United States. Please welcome Dr. Wang.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my talk is about the tax consideration when you start your business. So we all have to know when you start business, you need to think about to make a plan, right? To find the consultant or advisor for business advisor, or go to the NIE Canada to get a right advice, and then you find lawyer to legally set up your business entity, right? And then you find the financial planner or financial advisor to open a bank account. You have to have the business, even sole proprietorship, right? Or if you want to make a loan or a big purchase or improvement, you have to find a banker. So next is the tax. So when you're operating a business, the tax will be involved in your business. So that's why, look at this. Starting business is quite simple, but not easy. Why not easy? Because the tax involved. Of course, there's other things involved. So the tax are much more complex and complicated. Next. So that's just like this picture. So a lot of things we need to think about: the planning, registration, and regulations, laws. Just like the tree, you see, like the tree, a lot of leaves. So it's hard to count which leaves is what, and which leaves fall, which leaves grows. So that's the hard part for the tax requirements and accounting requirements in doing a business. So my talk today, just two parts. One is about what is difficulties for different business entities related to the tax implication. The second part is what are the requirements for small business, the basic requirements you need to think about, and finally some discussions, statistics, figure to show the Canadian new entrepreneur starting a business. So the first part is the tax implication for sole proprietorship. We know we have three forms: business entity, sole proprietorship, partnership, and incorporation, right? So sole proprietorship is that you're doing your business by yourself. You don't incorporate. You're doing your business with yourself, your family, or some co-owner. The sole proprietorship. No matter what you're doing, if you have a business earning income, even it's a commission, it's CRA treat you as a sole proprietorship or self-employment. Okay. So a few things we need to think about. So first, you already know when you're doing business by yourself, the tax is yourself because you are the business. So the tax rate is your personal tax rate, which can be higher or lower than your corporation rate, depending on your income level. The second thing you need to think about, because it's not legally entity protected by the sole proprietorship business. So you need to think about how to protect yourself when you get audit. So that means you need to, one thing you need to think about how to deduct your expenses for the business. You have to be legitimately company expenses, not all the expenses related to your personal. Also, there's other ways to act for the accounting part. So for sole proprietorship, you report your self-employment and your T1 return, T1 general return, but there's a form called T2125. Either as business income or as professional income or as commission income. So that most people already know, if you do your tax return by yourself, right, you have to invoke the T2125 return for your self-business. So for sole proprietorship, things quite easy because everyone can do that. Even you don't need to register a company. You can use your own name to do, or you register a business name. Or you can do your own tax return, right? T1 return. Or someone can help you do very easy. For partnership, it's a little hard. So Robert talked about he suddenly see the partnership. That's true. But still, partnership exists. So partnership is you're doing a business operating the business with someone else, owns the business shares and business income and expenses. That's your partnership. So for the general partnership, there's different forms of partnership. There's the LLP, limited liability partnership. We don't talk about this. That's have a protection, like a lawyer, in partnership with the LLP. It's not general partnership. Okay, so for general partnership, all you think about is you contribute your income and profit shares by partners. We know that partnership it's not a legal entity, so it's not a taxable entity. Partnership don't file, well, I can say partnership don't file tax return, don't own tax at partnership, but they do have some requirements, I'm talking about later. So some partnerships must file some. The partnership return is kind of not tax return, information return, but by CIA required. So a lot of people don't know this because actually even in Chinese community, in some small business entity, they do exist partnership. They don't know this. They don't know the requirements. Okay, next. So who must file partnership return? It's Form T5013. It's also called Statement of Partnership Return. The following conditions, either one is meet, you have to file partnership return to CIA. The absolute value of revenue plus absolute value of expenses total, if it exists 2 million. This seems a big figure, but actually very easy to meet, right? If you have different business and partner together, because it's absolute value. Revenue plus your expense. If it exists 2 million, you have to file your return. Or if the net asset, not asset, the gross asset exceeds 5 million, you have to file. That's a requirement. Second, if the partnership is a tiered partnership, or partner with other corporation or trust, this is a lot of partners who don't know this. So what is tiered partnership? That means the partnership have another partnership involved. Not just like you and he. 3 people person partnership is not tiered. If I partner with Renren and another partnership, it's tiered partnership. If I partnership with Renren and another corporation, you meet this requirement. And also, if the partnership involves flows through shares, have to file the partnership return. Even the last 3 conditions not met, sometimes CIA, the Minister of National Revenue, the agency, requests you to file partnership return, you have to file. Sometimes you do get a letter asking you to file the partnership return. So for the partnership just like a form of the business, right? Just like you form a business, a few people get together, partner. So different partner in the partnership have following things we need to think about. If the partnership requires to file partnership return, that's a form, T5013. If not, as a partner, you also need to consider the following. First, you have to file a personal tax return, because as a partnership, as a partner, you also get the income from the partnership, right? So that part you file in your personal tax return in the form T2125. Or if the partnership business is involved in the rental business, you have to file T76 form. If the partnership have a corporation involved, then as a partner, you have to think about how to file the T2 return, the corporation income tax return. Or if there's a trust, there's a trust return required, T3. So just look at the list. The partnership return, not just one form. It's a series of schedules required. It's quite complicated. So T5013 is just statement of partnership income. And also there's a financial statement required, balance sheet, summary of partner income, and also some other requirements for the partnership return. So partnership return exactly looks like a corporation tax return required. Only they don't, as a partnership, you don't need to file tax, and that means you don't own tax as a partnership. That's the only thing. So partnership is more complicated, right, than sole proprietorship. Corporation is even much hard to understand. Okay, so corporation, that means you incorporate yourself as a legal entity or limited liability to incorporate. So a few things you need to understand when you do corporation. First, CCPC is Canadian controlled private corporation. If you are Canadian, you're doing your business, all the main shares are owned by Canadian. It's usually called CCPC, small business. There's some limits. If there's a non-resident involved and they take main share on the corporation, they call non-resident corporation. And sometimes there's a foreign corporation involved doing business in Canada. Like right now, a lot of people to register a company in US doing investment. And if they operate their business also in Canada, they involve foreign corporation tax return here. Okay. So you also need to think about what is active business, what is passive income, active income, passive income, and what is PSD, so personal service business. So most businesses are active business. No matter you're selling your service, selling your food, open restaurant, and provide a lot of training, that's active. You're actively doing business. But some businesses are passive income, like rental income. You're doing investment income, that's passive income. Unless rental property is a commercial, like hotel, and not like just your, what's it called, the family. So, and another thing is the PSD, personal service business. So this came in law about 2 years or 3 years. So PSD means if you incorporate yourself and you doing the business as a corporation, like consulting in the government or whatever. If the purely business, the personal type of business, just like the company hire you, not the corporation, they may think about this personal service type of business. That means you lose all the deductions, small business deductions, just like you earn the payroll. So that's usually don't apply to a lot of other business, mostly like consulting business in the government. Okay. So as a corporation, actually for even other type of business, you also need to think about the payroll, dividend. So when you start to do payroll, when you need to pay dividend. Okay. And corporation, a lot of benefit. Rob already talked about that. And also corporation has some not good for the double tax. Also, although corporation you can save a lot of tax by planning, but corporation actually pay double tax. That means if you owns the corporation, right? So you pay yourself in dividend, or pay different owner as dividend. So basically you pay 2 times tax. Dividend is after tax. So that's a simple thing. And some other things we may need to think about, like non-arm's length transaction. People always have a different corporation mixed up. They do the transactions, so they call non-arm's length transaction. There's some requirements for filing. Investment for the foreign affiliates or payment to non-residents. Some consulting company, I see a lot of firms to pay non-residents in China to outsourcing. That's legally it's okay, but there's some requirements for the form. And also corporation, the benefit has some special deduction like CCPC, small business deduction, and also like the SRED, SRED, for the scientific and some invention, you can apply for this tax credit. So tax-related regulations for corporation. Basically, just quickly go through this one. As a corporation, you may need to have a mini book you already talked about. In Quebec, it's mandatory. In Ontario, why the lawyers say a lot of people don't have this one, it's not mandatory. And a lot of people doing that self registration. Okay. Mini book actually can prepare by yourself if you know how. Okay. Basically, mini book contains all the document registered in the government, from the government. And the directors' information, shareholders' information, share register resolutions, and changes during the year, whatever. That's a corporation mini book. You need to keep CIA account active and up to date. When you register the corporation, you have three accounts. One is your mini book yourself, right? You keep yourself mini book. Another CIA business account. You have to sync together. Sometimes people, when they call CIA, the director is not him, or never registered. They don't, And sometimes they will have to say this, but CIA account don't have this information. Accounting book has to be kept at least 6 years out of receipts. That's the requirements. And some other regulation like internet business, when no matter your personal or corporation is safe actually. When you do internet business, it's liable to report. And even you have to disclose your internet URL address for the CIA. And for financial statement, when you do that's mandatory. You have to prepare financial statement for corporation. Not like in a personal sole proprietorship, you don't have to do. Or partnership, if you don't ask you to return, you don't need to. But for this one, you have to prepare. And you have to work with accountant as a requirement. Say, ask, is this all this engagement review or review engagement or completion review engagement? You cannot do yourself. That's a legal requirement. And also, the last things, all people know, you have to file in all the requirement return on time. Right? All different returns. Those are tax accounting considerations for all the business, not just for corporation. Only because corporation has to keep their book. So you have to understand what is balance sheet, the asset, account receivable, owner's investment, liabilities, account payable, loans, return earning, dividend, capital shares, net loss, net asset, etc., etc. Okay? Not just simple how much I earn, your income, how much expense. So that's simple. People can do that, but all those things are hard. And for the corporation, you have net loss, how to carry forward, how to carry back. Your net loss can offset your gains. CCA, capital cost allowance, and capital gain and losses that you have to consider when you're doing a business. And another thing is cumulative initial capital deductions, like your business, purchase the business, that part, not the asset part, or your incorporation cost, that can be deducted from cumulative initial capital deduction, only 7% every year deduction. Okay, please.
1 minute.
Okay. So this is the tax filing requirements. Okay. Basically, if you go through the list, you know there are too much requirements, even for sole proprietorship. For sole proprietorship, you have to think about, do I need to hire employee or contract? It's different requirements. Right? If you hire contract, not T4, you pay T4A slaves. You have to pay T4A slaves. And for T4A summary return, do I have to charge GST or HST or claim ITC, income tax credit? Right? If you do, you need to register a GST account. I see quite a few business owners don't know this. They never register GST and HST, but they're starting to charge. So that's a lot of trouble. The partnership, all same as the sole proprietorship, plus all those partnership return forms. Next, corporation. So corporation, just T2 return is one form of incorporation business, but they have different requirements. Like corporation, you may think about the payroll and payroll tax return, the T4 summary return, T5 dividend return, and GST return. etc. Right? And also we have WSIB. So because you have payroll, you have employee, you need to register WSIB, etc. If you Quebec, it's more trouble, a lot of different things. You have to file federal and Quebec. Okay, so that's the discussion. We go to next a few slides very quickly. So basically, you see, in Canada, 2.4 million business, that's from State Canada. But 1.3 million are sole proprietorship businesses for the startups for the first 2 years. But after mature, after 5 years, only 72%, well, increase 72% are full-time employee, full-time entrepreneur. So that's an interesting statistics. Next. So what is the bottom line for this? 80% startups at some stage they engage their business with bookkeeper or accountant. That's quite high actually in Canada. Right? About 70% startups think about accountant and help them to achieve their goal and help the business. But unfortunately, only 13% actively involved with accounting professional. So that's why the trouble came. So the conclusion is for all the small business owners, no matter you just think about to start or already start or very mature. So you should think about how to, even mature, some people don't have accountant, okay? And you need to learn. But the answer is at a very early stage to engage involvement with the accountant, even your registered corporation. Just one thing, because Robert talked about the registered corporation. Anyone can do that if you know how. Has to be know-how, right? It's not legally say you must find a lawyer, you must find an accountant. But you have to know, even lawyer sometimes not make mistakes, miss some steps. Because the lawyer think about law, think about the regulations, right? The accountant think about the tax and all the regulations from the CIA perspective. I see a lot of lawyer, they only think about their part and not miss out the accounting part. They miss out the HST registration or sometimes not the law, and miss out some other things. So that's, you have to all work together to think about how to start a business. So that's the accounting I have. People already know. Okay. Thank you. That's my contact. I have a name card.
It looks very complicated, so many fonts, and you feel overwhelmed. But don't worry about that. You just pay a accountant to do it for you. Yeah, when I have my corporation, my accountant will do the T4. Like when time comes, he will set up the schedule, what time you do this and what time you do other things. So I never miss it. And people also, when people talk about accountant, they say you hire an accountant, and then the accountant will ask you, like, how do you want me to file the tax return? A good accountant can give you valuable advice, but you also need to stick with the law, being ethical, not against the regulation and rules. For the years of experience I have with Dr. Wang, I think he's very ethical. At the same time, he's creative. He does help you save a lot of money. Yeah, that's what I think about his service. So we have 20 minutes to ask some questions to our speakers. I'll give you a few minutes to think about your questions. During the break, Mao Zhong, you're here. He said this is a great workshop. We have the atmosphere. People try to help each other. And he just came from China. He has a lot of resources and information he can provide to all of us, and maybe he can help Chinese Canadians in Ottawa to do business in China or import-export businesses.
因为我的英语不是特 特别努力的，所以为了不耽误大家时间，我拿汉语说了。首先，今天非常感谢任还有其他这个朋友们提供这样一个好的场所和机会，来跟大家见面和认识。那我在这里面感觉到，就是感受到，每个人啊都在非常愿意为大家分享和能够做到一些帮助其他人的事情。那么我呢，刚从这个国内过来时间不长，我也呢非常希望能够把我自己以前积累到的一些这个信息或者是经验分享给各位。那今天我就讲3个事情，第一个是我是谁，第二个我做过什么，第三个我能为各位做些什么。为了这个时间，我都会非常简短啊。首先我姓张，张茂忠，各位可以叫我 Brad。第二呢，我做过什么？我有4个那个学位然后呢，我大概做过有8家公司。我虽然也有自己的公司但是我也在这个给其他公司在做。那么我做过什么行业呢？这个采矿、冶炼，这个包括火把的和石把的冶炼，做过这个纺织，做过服装，做过这个医疗器械，做过太阳能发电，还做过机械制造，还有房地产。虽然做了这么多行业但是我都做一件事情，就是做供应链管理这一块，供应链相关的一些事情。那么供应链相关这一块呢，所以呢这方面呢，虽然在不同的行业里面，但是有很多共同的东西。那在这里面呢，我积累了大概有18年多的这个经验。我希望后面的这个在这方面呢，能够给大家做一些这个心向的分享。第3件，我能为各位做什么？我们都知道，作为一个公司，无论你是生产型还是贸易型还是其他服务型的，你的客户是非常重要的。另外一个非常重要的事情就是你的收入，你的原材料或者是你的这个你的采购端，一个是你的销售端，一个是你的采购端。那么采购端，我见过太多的企业因为采购端这块出问题而导致整个生意的失败，甚至导致一些其他非常这个可怕的事情。无论是从这个质量的稳定性上，从这个交期的准确性上，从你这个数量的匹配性上，还有等等你的一些货运方式的安排，以及包括等等一些其他的一个事情，包括你供应商的这个他的一个组织协调能力到底如何，他怎么跟你去做这样的一些这个配合与交叉。那所有的说来这些呢，只要你选到一个非常好的供应商，那么很多事情你可以让你非常省心。那我在这里能够为各位做的是什么？就是在我刚才提到的那些行业里面，如果各位认为希望找到一些合适的供应商的话，那当然这些供应商大部分是我用过的。我也可以通过我们有一个，在国内也有一些这样的这个，因为我们都在这个供应链圈子里面，大家在一起经常聊。那么每个人都或者某一些这个人，或者某些公司，或者某些组织，他们都会用到不同的供应商。那这些供应商经过时间检验过的，那么他们会在这个服务交期、质量、价格上都会有比较好的一个优势。也就是说，选到这样合适的供应商，其实是你的成功的一个基石而这些供应商的信息，我可以这个就是，如果有各位有需要的话，我可以这个提供给各位。那么最主要的呢，还是完全免费的。第2个事情就是我能为各位做的，就是说，因为呢这个我从国内过来呢。也有很多朋友托我，就是看看这块有没有什么合适的投资机会。那如果各位有好的项目，如果这个可以的话，我们也可以大家谈一下。好，就是说这么多，谢谢任，再次谢谢各位。
Translate for our English-speaking guests today, please. Translate this question. So basically, what Mr. Zhang said is he was in the industry of and he has 20 years experience, 18 years experience in this industry and what he was working for 8 companies or 8 industries, and he has his own companies. And well, thank you very much. So what he can provide us is, so first, he can provide the network. He can provide information to suppliers and reliable suppliers, providing good quality of service. And the second, he can provide investment opportunity. So he has many brands who want to invest in Canada, and they are looking for an opportunity to cooperate with people here. Thank you.
He will offer his service free. We will have 30 minutes network, but I want to make it easier because a lot of people seem like strangers to the others. There are already some business owners. Can you raise your hands, please? Yeah. I will introduce all of them to you. And then the others who want to start your business, if you feel like the business owners who are already in your field, you can ask questions to them. Bruce, can you introduce yourself?
Hello everybody, my name is Bruce Elliott, and I own a company called New Phase Web Marketing. It's a web marketing company, and my business is to promote primarily small to medium business on the internet. Everything to do with online. So really anybody in today's world that wants to start a business, who wants to be an entrepreneur, online marketing must be a part of your strategy. Even if your business is selling offline in a store, in a restaurant, you still need some online marketing as part of your strategy. That's what I find. So I'm an entrepreneur myself. I've been one all my life. And I enjoy helping other entrepreneurs excel in their effort to build their business by taking advantage of the internet primarily. So that's what I do. And pleased to meet all of you. Thank you.
When I talked with Bruce, he showed me like, for example, what's your website. And shows on my cell phone, it doesn't show the whole page on the cell phone. So it's as simple as it can be, but it takes the professionals' help to make your website mobile friendly, iPad friendly. So this is something Bruce can help you to. Bing, please.
So my name is Stephen. I'm running So this company is brand new. It's just opened last month. So myself is very old. So today working in China in the media company, and today working in China in Canada as a single software engineer. So myself is a professional engineer in Ontario, and my company is authorized by professional engineer in Canada to open a business to public. So my business is focused on commercial residential industry. So basically, for something that we familiar with, just like you want to build a house, so you have to have the project ready, and have the architect, structural engineer, and all everything involved to have the building. And for example, if you have a very old house, and the old house has a crack. The crack sometimes is very weird, and it's very something you have to be careful. That is probably symptom of the serious damage which will be happening later. And for example, we have the estate, the shell customer buys the land that I mentioned to you already. So the land is not just something you can see. It's a beautiful land, it's very big. But when you build something on the land, you should be careful. Something on the land, on the ground, it probably is going to be costful for the money to build something on it. So when you want better land, you should better come to see the technical engineers, prepare report, and that civil contract engineer to review it to see if it's going to be very expensive for you to build anything on the land. So for something else like this small thing like a house, big thing like a higher building, company can take care of it. So thank you very much.
I just wanted to say that we refer to construction and development company to Ling, and we're very happy with this expertise. So for sure recommend.
Great job, business owners, you are too. He also purchased mobile. He recommended if solid, if someone is interested, he may consider to sell it at the end of the year, and he's going to buy another one with me. Okay. Over there. Yes.
I haven't been in the restaurant, but today I want to come here because I want to do the renovation for my restaurant. I hope to find somebody who can do renovation, electricity, and other things. So if somebody is a renovation company or restaurant,
We do have people in the New Immigrant Entrepreneur WeChat group. Later on, I will add you in and will ask this kind of service. Some people will help you do it. Luyan.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Luyan. Okay, so this is the part of the Luyan is the Yan. It's easy to remember my name. And you can find my name in the newspaper. The Chinese is also China News. Yeah, and also Health Times. I'm a traditional Chinese medical doctor or health practitioners or acupuncturist over 22 years. And I have a clinic in Wuzhou. And acupuncture, you know, right? Traditional Chinese medicine, you know, right? And also, this is my first business. The second business is about my new business that's academy of traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. So right now, just recruit students, okay? So just want to provide the training for acupuncturists and traditional Chinese medicine will be 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years. So they can get license after the graduation from the college of traditional Chinese medicine in Ontario. And this is my second business. And also another business is about online shopping, that we have way for online. Yeah, also that's a big opportunity and also already made it. It's really, really great. So any question or any service I can provide, so just contact me. And also I have some business card with me. And also you can find me in the Chinese newspaper. And also I have a website, www.gowiztap.com. And it's GOWIZTAO.com. Gowiztap. Okay. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jen from Iron Story, and it's my first business, and today I'm here first. I'm starting this business as an international student, so if here have any international student and planning to have their own business, can come to consulting me and maybe can give you some ideas. And the second is about my business. My business is most related to the foods. So hard food, solid food, exotic food, and our story is expertise in exotic food in the capital region. And we also have the napkin, yes. And but don't worry about our napkin is different as long as you napkin. Don't worry about anything about that. We have all the specifications and we have all the standard grades. And we also provide engineered flooring. So if you, it's both for the residential and the commercial. So it doesn't matter you need the wood products for wood flooring for your home or your business. We can do that. And right now, for summertime, we also doing the exotic food deck. And we're the only one in Ottawa can provide that service. And that one is especially for busy businessmen. That is, I think, perfect for your backyard because at least 50 years maintenance free. You don't need to manage it, you don't need to oil it, you don't need to worry about anything, just enjoy summertime on your deck. And also this summer we're going to provide the fencing service, so if any one of you planning to have a new fence at the backyard can come to us. Yeah.
Do you also sell furniture?
Yes, but furniture is just our new business. So it may come because we sell furniture just because wood flooring is very heavy. So in each container, you can just load for container. It's gonna be overweight, so there's some space. Then we just put furniture inside because furniture is less weight. That makes our furniture products is less expensive than market price. It's just because we're saving the shipping. So if you have anything wants that, just come to us.
Do you also do renovation? I'm very sure you install hardware, right? Added renovation.
Renovations, so we have a team to do renovations, but we can also find the materials for you that is kind of customized project. So you need to come to our store and we can talk about that. Yeah.
Vivian, you're self-employed. Last time I went to the workshop helping women getting more beautiful. Like to do something else. Yeah, right?
Actually, now I'm building a small beauty business. I can be your beauty consultant, helping you to find the perfect skincare solutions, everything customized, and also teach you how to wear makeup and how to choose the perfect colors for you, helping you to shop to get the perfect clothes, the perfect design. So you're all welcome to contact me. My WeChat is YANG 05070507, and my cell phone is 613-869-0968.
Thank you, Yana. Yeah, she just started her business this year, right? Yeah.
Actually, I've been a beauty consultant for 5 years, but now I'm really taking it seriously. I wanted to build my business and expand. Thank you.
Her husband, Terry, my very close friend, owns a precision laser beauty salon. If my face looks good, I went to their place doing my laser and facial treatment. If my face doesn't look good, it's the reason why I didn't go with it. James' wife, she's also self-employed as financial advisor, right?
So I work for financial business star. So our products include life insurance, travel insurance, and also investment. So like for example, RSP tax planning. So if you guys need help, come to see us. And we just opened a new office inside of the TNT. So beside the bubble tea shop. So that's our new office. And welcome to visit our new office. Thank you.
Thank you. And I also see some familiar faces who are doing mortgage, provide mortgage when you purchase a home. Vincent, can you introduce yourself?
Thank you, everybody. So I'm a mortgage specialist. I live in mortgages. Unfortunately, I didn't do mortgages. And nice to meet everybody. So we need the whole time.
She's from Bangkok.
She's from Bangkok.
And the lady there, the lady who was sitting there, she's from CIBC. They're trying to recruit you, I think. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the newspaper. Yeah. This is Julia. Julia, where's Julia? She's gone. Oh, she's Julia. Julia's from CIBC. Oh, I must mention, Xia also does mortgage too. You have so many devices.
I don't actually,
you can refer, right?
Yeah, I do marketing plans. I do
What do you mean?
commercial
we can always refer business to each other. All the, there was a real estate agents here too, who is in the same industry of mine. Did you see Ruby?
She's outside.
Oh, okay, yeah. They also in the mortgage.
Yes. I'm from CIBC. I'm a mortgage advisor. So I can meet everyone's requirements. Okay? Thanks.
doctor. It's a special word when you do the exam of optometrist.
Hi everyone, so glad to meet everyone here on this Saturday. And first of all, to give a special thanks to Ren give us the opportunity to meet everyone. I'm an optometrist and have been practicing optometry for 5 years. And my office is at the Parliament Mall, just beside the theater. And when we tied up the ophthalmology for over 15 years. So I'm so glad to do this business to combine the optometry and the ophthalmology together to provide good service for people. So if anyone with eye exam or eye health consultation, you're welcome to my office. And also, I would like to give you information is in Ontario, for people under 20 years old or over 65 years old, they are covered by only once a year for free eye exam. And also for people, if they have diabetes or have retinal problem, they also covered no age limit, also covered by only once a year for eye exam. Okay, so if anyone in the town, please come to see me.
Unfortunately, I'm between the years of 20 and 65. But my mom who is already 66, and she also has diabetes, unfortunately, 糖尿病. She just got free service at her place. And also my 2 girls, they just turned 3 years old last February, and we also visited her just this week. She's very professional, very kind, and plus, even if you want to get new glasses, you can go to her, and she will constantly telling you when there will be like a discounts. And because you go to visit her, you can get 50% discount to getting prescription glasses in the same cutting mall. The last time my husband just got 2 pairs and saved like $400 because of her. And she has clients that she still leads us to the just next door. What's the store's name? Yeah, just next door. So it's a one-stop service there. Thank you. Go ahead.
Sorry, I sorry about Chinese dollars. Sorry, so I never text you. 大家好，我是明锐集团，我们公司刚刚就是进入渥太华，然后我们公司是做境外汇款的。刚听说，之前跟郑先生也聊过一下，了解我们公司刚来不久。如果各位就是我看都是对自己创业比较感兴趣的。然后刚才有先生也提到了，就是可能。如果你 start 你的小的 business 的时候，需要一些资金或者一些采购，是从中国这方面，比如说这中间就可能会涉及到一些境外汇款的一些业务。然后我们公司是对就是渥太华当地的这些小的 business 这些，如果你有自己有这个中国采购的这个需求，我们这边可以做这个人民币跟加币的兑换，然后汇率。可以告诉各位，汇率是比目前加拿大还有中国银行会要好很多。所以，如果大家有这个需求，比如说以后要做这种对中国的采购领域的话，我们公司可以就是 provide 一些 information， 一些汇率的东西给大家做一个基础的东西。因为毕竟是做这个在加拿大做这些的东西是需要一些资金的。还有反方向是，如果各位可能。需要做你的小business，但是可以从银行就是贷款，但是可能也需要一些其他的一些启动资金，因为中国政府对于那个这个外汇有一些严格的控制，但是我们公司是在加拿大这个俗称反贤政这个就是注册的第一家在加密。说 为了一家正式的会场公司，所以我们也可以就是反方向或者是一直很像这方面有非常严格的这个所有的 process 还有这个 license， 所以欢迎大家来相关。然后我们现在也是公司就是刚刚在渥太华启动，也是现在在不断的搜索各种人才，也欢迎大家如果有这方面的，就是觉得自己非常在这方面非常的知识渊博的，也欢迎加入我们公司。
Can you help translate that, please?
So they can help you to exchange RMB from RMB to Canadian dollars or vice versa. They are the only registered company with what's the name of that organization? Very group, but you fancy change what? Money laundering, you're the only
If you want to exchange a lot of Chinese renminbi to Canadian dollars, there is a limitation by the Canadian government because they are anti-money laundering. So they are compliant with the regulation. I'm very delighted they are also offering job opportunities. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. In the future, I know we have business owners here, and you will eventually you will need hiring people. I want you to share this kind of opportunity so we can help international students or newcomers to find jobs. Thank you. What else? Do that means anyone who is doing business? Self-employed? Michael.
Okay, last not least. Okay. Canada Chinese.
Save the best for the last.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Canada News, been on over 24 years. Actually, this is our 24th year. And we're gonna actually cover 1,000 editions coming soon. Next week will be our 990 edition. So we've been here on it. I took over this newspaper from live 4 years ago. We've been expanding actually the newspaper website. Actually, in all the actually yellow windows, you can see the newspaper and also a snapshot of our website. We have two websites right now. One newspaper website, CanadaChange.com, and also this one here is a forum website, AutoChange.com. Besides those, we also have our WeChat public ID. We will publish news, local news, educational stuff on the WeChat on a daily basis. Besides that, also today actually I want to thank Live for inviting us here, not just myself but also here. First of all, I want to introduce Ming Yang, I would say he's everything. He's my everything. He's chief editor, ops manager, does everything here. He's been with our company for actually longer than me. And also Lei, you've seen this face around. And, he used to work for me for a long time, but now he's working for the church. I think the way we say it, God. Actually, how do you say Chinese? For God. Not just for me, also for the users. 因为这个主的召唤，所以我们那个圣的样子的这个人才其实为主工作。Okay, so if the samples here, maybe. It's gonna be a lot of things, but I think it's a good thing to do. Okay, well, if you have any questions, let me know. No, I'm not a Christian myself, but most of my workers are Christians. Every day before I have lunch.
We were all Christians before you joined us.
I know, actually, I think I might be a Christian. Well, newspaper actually. Well, just to mention that actually, I've seen lots of familiar faces here, like Dr. Lu, actually on the newspaper, Xian on the newspaper, Winston on the newspaper, Fei is on the newspaper. Am I missing anybody? Well, I'm sure there can be more people, right, James? Right. So if you want to launch your business, if you have your own business, or if you're looking for a business, let me know. I think we can work together.
Micromanaging, I want to say thank you to CRC. Read the editor of Compound China and the Compound China news weekly newspaper. His wife is sick, so he has to be home to take our children. He promised to come and support our group. He also helped to advertise our workshop on his media. Yeah. So it's already 4:30. I would recommend all of us to take a photo together, maybe inside or outside. Maybe. And we need volunteers. We need help. Okay. We will need to set up evaluation.